All right. Well, everybody, thank you for um, being here today. We are at the AI Hotline podcast. I'm your host this evening with April Elias, Heather Gazar, and Joshua Sun. And today we're going to chat about some of the latest things that are happening in the AI world and have some fun discussions. So, who watched the last Google I/O? I think it was yesterday, if I'm not wrong. Did you guys get to watch that or seen any of the news?
It's pretty insane, and it definitely changes the game for a lot of us and the way that we work and the way that we think. And also, a lot of the big tech giants or the tech companies are just making significant investments in AI, generative AI, and stuff is changing so fast. It's mind blowing. And as soon as you feel like you get up to speed, then you're like, oh, then there's this. But yeah, I did see a little bit of it.
One of the things that I actually um, started using the past month was having more inside Gemini rather than like ChatGPT for some deep research. I've been combining Gemini for the deep research on different locations here in Florida for kind of like trends and what's happening in the market, and then use that to put it into ChatGPT for even a deeper research. So some areas that obviously Miami is being built out left and right, a lot of development happening here. Um, but one of the interesting parts that I found out is just being able to combine those two models um, to even have like a deeper understanding of whatever topic you're searching. So um, I started doing that more and more this last month, and all those reports then put them into Notebook LM and really consume that information in a such a faster manner that I think that's going to be my new tech stack in terms of my new AI stack, I guess we can call that, right?
Yeah.
Um, in order to like learn a lot quicker, because now I can ask you can in Notebook LM you can I don't know if you guys know, but like you can actually interact with the reports in the conversation in the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny you're holding a conversation with AI on this super deep research. Have you guys have any experience on doing that, or have you guys used it?
Well, I was just gonna say we were just talking about that either today or yesterday,
Yeah,
and we
we're
were talking about it like in terms of like being able to handle the information within our company, like for different projects and splitting it up and being able to train our team because I'm going through a lot of team training right now, and to be able to just like have all of the go high level documentation kind of like added in and have it be a more robust search platform than just googling.
I have my 19 and my 21-year-old. I'm throwing, everything on them too. And I'm like, consume this, learn this alongside of me. And today, or it was either today or yesterday, I don't know, my days are running together. I showed my youngest son because what I needed him to do is they're doing the audio and the visuals and the camera, the videography for our workshop. So I was like, I want you to learn some of these like tips and tricks to help like proactively avoid any kind of mistakes during reporting our workshops. And so I threw a bunch of stuff into Notebook LM, and I was like, bring me your laptop. I threw it in there and I was like, look, in the middle, you can interact with everything that you put in there. The source could be
Hmm.
YouTube, it could be a link, it could be copy and paste, like all kinds of stuff. Said, and then we hit a button, and all of it ended up only being like a 7-minute podcast, like that he would listen to. And he was like, oh my gosh, I put much stuff in there and I was listening to it at the gym. He's like, I understand everything so much more quickly. So I think, and then he's like, none of my friends are using this. He's like, I'm telling all of my friends about this. But I thought it was cool because people learn in different ways. Like some people love to read, some people love to watch like visual videos. And he's like me, where I can listen, right? Like I like to listen more.
Hmm.
And so I feel like that's just going to help him get up to speed more quickly in all of the little areas that he works in too, because he also works on a faceless YouTube channel. So there's always cool new stuff coming out for that too.
On Thursdays, I usually have we call it inside meetings at my agency, and for the past month and a half, every Thursday I showcase something to my team just to like get them up to speed with like what's going on. And Notebook LM was the number one tool that I showed them. I even showed them the live questions that I was asking. We were able to get buyer personas. We were able to get the different like styles that those buyer personas actually enjoy buying or are looking for in a brand. Um, what kind of conversations they're having, right? And then what this serves is to precisely like strengthen your marketing, strengthen like who your target audience is on your messaging, on emails, on advertising, social media content for that matter. So it is definitely the way to go right now, at least for me, in order to get like really through with like what your strategy would be. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming from Google. Honestly, I think they were the laughing stock a few months ago, and now they're like, I think they're coming swinging. I mean, the video generations that you can do now in that thing,
Oh,
the VO3, um, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. The whole also the 3D versioning. I think they call it Google Beam, where you can literally be on. I think it's going to be some sort of like screen that you camera wise it literally feels or looks like you can literally like look around the person, right? So pretty cool stuff coming out of Google.
So like one thing that I've started doing is building in Lovable, which is a lot better with the UI interface. And then Manus doesn't really like that's a React site. So with in regards to programming, it basically makes the code for the website really flat. So like the it can't be read by another tool. Including SEO. It's not really that great for SEO. You have to do a lot of special stuff to a React site. So that's why I'm not building anything big and lovable right now, because it would be better to just do a static HTML website for clients that, where they need the SEO discoverability. Um, but I'm taking screenshots from Lovable designs and putting it over into Manus because Manus actually works really well with screenshots. And as far as Cursor goes, Cursor is pretty decent as far as I did experiment with that a little bit. It goes so fast. Like if you're in there, it's just like, and like my brain doesn't even comprehend what you're doing. Like slow down. So it was a little wild to get in there and like see it coding right in front of me, but the faster it goes, the faster it can get off track too. So it's like, oh, it's going like off into left field, and then I have to bring it back and send it in a new direction. But it's already done all this work because I couldn't catch it. So that's one thing with these coding systems is like you have to be babysitting right now, especially if
Right.
you don't have a good tackle or like a good grasp on the prompts that you're giving it. I'm pretty loosey goosey with prompts sometimes, which is probably why I like Manus the best because it actually reads it better. Like it will understand my vague prompts better than any other system.
Cloning your voice, making it sound more like you, and getting to a
Hmm.
point where like it feels a little more natural. Because yeah, I've seen a lot of creators starting to do that. Obviously, especially in the AI space and whatnot. But even like I've seen fitness influencers actually start like adopting that a lot. So a lot of creators are going in that route. So
I experimented with NVIDIA this past week, and it was
mhm,
really cool because you can do a voice clone through that, and then you can actually create AI video
mhm.
and have it be in certain styles. So it was cool to play around with because you can really control the content like frame by frame through NVIDIA.
there were two major brands like that that certainly embraced that and we're like, well, now we have this influencer that is looks totally like a person, right? And she'll always look the same and we can dress her how we want. She's, you're never going to be late. And I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. And I mean, it's cool, but it's scary. It is a little creepy. But I think they're just like we'll start to get desensitized to some of that and it might become more of the norm, but I think there's always going to be that craving for that real uncut like human interaction on some level for sure.
I'm sure you guys are working on a lot of incredible stuff. I keep getting mind blown just by sometimes of the conversations is how little some people are not looking back into like what their kind of like what I would say a database is, because your database essentially is what will allow you to actually create more for your business later on with automations, AI, and things of that nature. So I think a good place where people should start looking at their businesses for preparing for that AI, takeover or operationally, will be creating their own databases, whether that is on a cloud storage on Google Drive and organizing that, right, keeping that together. I mean, I know for a fact it will make my life easier when I start working with people if they had stuff like that.
So one thing that I've been working on is trying to figure out the right system to grab all of my meeting content, because I meet with a ton of
Mm.
people. I have for the past 6 months I've just been using Fathom because it does a really good job of summarizing, adding in all the action items, but it's not so much good for video quality or like being able to
Mhm.
just add it into a place where the team can access it. I know they have a team feature. I think it's a lot more expensive than even my plan. I'm like,
Very
no,
much.
so I've never upgraded to the team feature. But I switched over to Loom AI. And so that's what my current favorite is because I can add it in a video library and it does do the video to SOPs generation. And it's just easy for like my project manager to go back and like if I have a client meeting, I can say, oh, I added it in basically the team drive.
And I've come to find that I am in love with Airtable
Oh
to
yeah.
precisely hold databases. I mean, incredible tool. If you're not using Airtable for your stuff, for keeping track of databases or any sort of records, man, Google Sheets is great and all, but what a pain. So I connect Fathom in order with Zapier and then hold it in. Right now, everything actually for that is going. The main database is Notion, but then I'm sending it over to Airtable to generate the transcript and create like different types of pieces of content and ideas. But the reason I'm doing it there is because I found that it's a lot easier to actually prompt from Airtable with connections, with like um, for like different MCP servers.
Hmm.
So that way I can actually like ask on Slack, for example, hey, what was the meeting that I had? So and so, give me some notes before I jump on the call with the team.
Hmm.
So Zapier has been a really good tool for that. I also use Make for sending it to different areas that maybe Zapier, or I don't know how to do it with Zapier. It's missing certain things. But that so far has been a good way to just put everything in the drive in terms of like the actual files of the transcripts as PDFs to build that, like, I guess I want to call it like a mini brain
Hmm.
of all my calls.
Yeah.
And then that's why I said like the databases are very important, whether that is like in a table database or if it is on a Google Drive specific folders, because then you give that to the AI, and then at that point not only it knows your way of communication, it knows also who the people that you're like meeting with, because obviously Fathom provides you with those very specific transcripts of who was in the meeting. Um, but it also gives you summaries and gives you ideas. So I connected both. I have a GPT that connects directly with that Google Drive, and also connected it so that I could prompt it with for meeting notes on Slack. So those are the two ways that I'm currently using it, and it's been fantastic. I can't wait to put it onto the sales, because once the sales happen for any sort of like of my services or whatever, I'll be able to actually like have the AI pull the conversations that I've had in order to like build the project.
Hmm.
Oh
So
my
I'm
gosh,
working currently on that.
I'm gonna do that. I'm
Is
gonna
it
copy you, Will.
well, right? That's what I was trying to say earlier. I was like, Will has he's dialed it in, and I forgot the exact framework that he mentioned. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah, definitely take it, Heather.
What you just said is perfect. Like imagine AI, like already, what do we have? The note takers, right? You're recording, you're having a Zoom call, and it's already transcribing all that for you. So people think, I don't know how to use AI. I don't know anything about the tools. I don't know what to do. And it's like, you just had a transcript. Hand that transcript. If you have someone on your team creating content, that's content. That's document. Now, when you see the value of having that synthetic avatar, because then we can go over and create actual content because we can pluck out of those conversations because that's the stuff, that's the BTS, the behind the scenes content that people love. And you might have 5 or 6 pieces of content, but you say, well, I can't make content. I'm in meetings all day. The meetings are also content. And
Mhm.
AI can actually, you're not having to set up a crew or anything like that and make a podcast. You're literally like, cool, I'm going to take these notes and then extract ideas for content, extract direct content. You can use it if you don't have a team yet. You can say, okay, cool. What of this? A lot of people don't know what to talk about. It's like, well, gosh, you're talking about the same three things on every meeting. Or, hey, that question, right? Almost think about like Gary Vee, Ask Gary Vee show, right? Why was that so effective? Because you instantly align with your audience, because that's what they care about, and you don't have to do the ideation to figure out what do they want to care about. So I hope I make content like that. It's like, no, just ask the question. In each of those calls, there's questions. So you simply have questions at the end, or you look at them through the transcript and say, look, here's the questions. Either A, I can make content around those, or I can literally clip those, as long as you said it was okay with them to clip it. Then you can clip those, and that actually becomes micro content. So it's like everybody's trying to figure out, how do I feed the bucket, the hungry monster that is social media, to build my personal brand, build that trust with people, and provide value. Well, that right there takes so much cognitive burden, right, off of that stack, because you no longer have to think what's relevant, what's important, what do people want to know. Bam, it's right there. And AI can
Yeah.
help in multiple ways.
And I have found people are actually they just don't like technology. So the advantage that we currently have is that we know all these different softwares, and we're able to utilize it to like either connect the dots on how to use them, because we have had to in order to like build something. So right now, this is like a good era to be either an integrator or somebody that is really technical, obviously, because we get to have fun through all these stuff that are coming out.
No, I was just going to say it's exciting to play around in the technology if you're somebody that's like that, because then you realize how you can leverage it to to create a lot of just getting things done, and it just helps you across the board. And when you get something to work and it actually produces at mass, and you're like, wow, I just 10x 100x my effort, you're like, every moment I spent in there figuring it out, poking around, and I do better just trying to figure it out on my own and then looking it up when I get stuck. Like that's the way that I tend to learn, and it gets sticky for me. And then it's like, well, that's definitely worth it, because every moment I spend in there, I'm getting infinite time back. And so I think, Will, you also have shared that too. You've said, and actually I think you're the one that helped me reframe that. You're like, it was either you or I don't know. I've had so many conversations, but I'm pretty sure it was you. You were like, don't look at it this way, because you're getting all this time back. Just keep messing around in there and figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
But it's,
Help.
it's definitely worth it. And that's what helps keep me like not getting frustrated and actually getting it through it and saying, look, and it does help me rule things in and rule things out, because you can make a better decision about what it is that you need. And then I'm more open to trying new tools, because I feel like I can move around them fairly easy and quickly figure out what I like and what I don't like. So yeah, I agree. I encourage everybody just play around and see if
Yeah,
it works for you.
I have been diving deep into Reddit, and going into the different subreddits for ChatGPT or like this, AI stuff, and it's just pure comedy in there. But in a way, it also tells me what people are actually using it for at a grand scale, right? So, I started thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure out a way to um, scrape the crap out of Reddit pretty much, and then see what kind of products I can come up with. Um, why? Because there are certain products that are already thought about, and maybe this will help you guys as well with like the things that you're planning, is validation on maybe some ideas that you have had.
Mhm.
So I'm creating that process of scraping through all of the different Reddit postings, and then just like adjusting it to either my clients, or adjusting it for like products. So I wanted to know, if you guys have thought of things like that, for example.
I'm in Reddit every day, and there's always hilarious content in there.
Yeah.
It's so great. Like if anybody isn't on Reddit, it's a great place to really keep in tune with an industry. Like
Mhm.
I'm in several different groups, and it's just cool. It's where you can find your people. But then there's also a certain comedic level that goes along with Reddit, and it kind of goes like across the subreddits too.
I want to close with this. I think we asked this question last time. What is a tool that you're currently using, and why are you using it? What gets you excited about that at the moment?
I've actually gone back in and explored Lindy again. I like have this love-hate relationship with Lindy. I don't know
Me
what it
too.
is because I keep paying for credits and I'm like, I want to use these credits and I want to make this work. Um, so I would say probably Lindy and then Relevance AI are the two that I'm messing around with the most to just kind of, when I wish I had more time to spend more time in these two places, but I am spending some time in there. And so when I have the opportunity to do that, that's where I'm playing around trying to figure things out and just get the process down or get the concept or architect it in some way to solve these business problems that we have that we're delivering, either in, workshop or one-on-ones with people. But those are the two places that I'm spending the most time.
For me, I am finally getting into N8N. So I'm gonna get in and
Yes.
master this
It's so good.
because it seems like it just opens up a whole new world, like beyond Zapier, beyond Make. And so like figuring it out and figuring out how I can, how you have snapshots and go high level and like you can like push things forward really quickly if you already have it built out. I feel like the same is possible in an 8N. It's just figuring out what's the business use cases, what can we kind
Yep.
of wrap as in a gift wrap and tie it with a bow and hand to somebody, and then have them be able to be that much more productive in their business.
I, boy, I'm a little all over the place with that. We are focusing on building out the synthetic content, so I'm just digging into a bunch of avatar generation, Hey Jan, different things. We're going through a whole. I'm very methodical, so I don't like just pick a couple and go through it. I feel like I have the need because one may do one thing good and other things terrible, that I got to know, like, do I wash it in this and then put it in the next tool? So I'm doing a deep dive on that and voice cloning to really get that from the content standpoint. We just brought on Poppy AI, and I don't know, I know it's a skin, of functionality, but people are like, oh, it's only a skin, and I'm like, no, user interface like matters, right? UX matters. So like, I don't know what it can and can't do yet, both for learning, for learning briefs, and
Mhm.
for internal planning and stuff like that. So I'm gonna play with that functionality and see. And then now I gotta go. I gotta get over there at Notebook, because just from what you guys were talking about, I'm like, oh, I'm already seeing just a little on the fringes. I'm like, okay, I need to get over there and see what that's doing, because obviously if it's got that functionality, it's going to just keep expanding. And so it's kind of about, where do you want
Mhm.
to, you could go to a little tool that two guys in the Netherlands are making, or you can go to a big tool and it's got funding, it's going to be integrated, it's going to be more feature rich. And so you can't really ignore those type of tools. And so I think I've definitely got to get over there and start playing more with that too.
The other tool that I'm really excited for that I started testing recently is GenSpark. It's another AI agent, very similar to I would say pretty competitive with Manus in terms of like the AI agent or the AI agentic space. I created an entire presentation for my team for another one of my insight calls on our process for our sprints because I needed to do a refresher, and this thing coded everything for me. I just gave it like really the exact process, exact blueprint, and then he coded everything. He gave it like entire branding and everything. So immediately the bulb exploded in my head, and I'm like, oh my god, I can create websites pretty much for proposals and get them up really quickly, or landing pages for the team whenever we're running ads, for example. So really cool tool. Definitely recommend it. All right, guys. Well, um, thank you for obviously this amazing. I love this conversation. AI Hotline here on Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So please join us in the future, and see you in the next one.